Okay, so today I'm going to give you some examples of people pleasing in order to help you to understand more of this hidden pattern or this pattern that you may not be fully aware of. And then in another video, I'm going to explain the spiritual consequences of people pleasing. And this is why you should choose to stop. Number one, saying yes when you want to say no. Agreeing to help someone even though you're exhausted. Okay, I gave you the example in my original video of, I see it a lot, but I've just kind of gotten accustomed to noticing it and seeing it, but of how a channeler that I watch, I like her videos. She was doing videos repeatedly, and then she stopped for a couple of weeks. And she came online live sick and was like over apologizing, over explaining, explaining, okay, why, like, I'm in apology, like, oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, having a pity party for herself. And I gave her unsolicited advice and inboxed her because I was like, oh my gosh, she's so good. She offers so much value to the world. And here you are in a pity party and explaining yourself and over explaining yourself and over apologizing. And all you're doing is taking care of yourself as you should. And she agreed, but it was a pattern that she has. So we have to stop people pleasing. And it's a reason why we do that. Okay. Another one is you people please because you want to avoid conflicts at all costs. My notes are here. So you stay silent when someone crosses your boundaries. Okay. And when you do that, it's a form of self-punishment, but it's also a form of suppression. You suppress your emotions and how you really feel instead of being expressive and speaking your truth. Agreeing with opinions you don't actually share. So you're like, oh, like if somebody says their opinion, you're like, oh yeah, I agree. And that's basically being fake. Right? We have to tell the truth. Because we have to face ourselves. You don't have to face me. You have to face yourself. And these are spiritual tests, like I mentioned in the original video, of are you ready to level up spiritually or evolve? These things come to test you to see if you're ready or not, or are you going to go back and repeat a cycle of this? Okay, putting everyone else's needs before your own. Now, a lot of women do this. I mean, I know men do this too, but we self-sacrifice, right? We constantly sacrificing your time, your energy, and your goals for others. And what does that do? That leaves us either feeling drained or, not being able to accomplish our goals. And over time, when we do those things, that leads to things like resentment. We start resenting others or resenting ourselves. It starts to turn inward if we do it enough. Neglecting self-care because we're too focused on taking care of everyone else. And I gave you that scenario in the original video of how, we're all responsible for our own cup. Like my own vessel, my vessel is divine. I'm responsible for keeping it in flow, full, giving it what it needs. When I don't do that and I self-sacrifice because I'm too busy caring for everyone else, I drain myself. I start to drain my life force energy, right? And what happens when you continually drain your life force energy? Your body starts breaking down, right? And some people, it starts attacking itself. Okay, over-explaining yourself. This is such a good one. I just gave you the example about the woman, and she was just over. These things that we do, it becomes our habit. Right? But when we start things and it becomes our habit, what does that become? It becomes our belief system. And that's how we show up. And that's what is projected or mirrored outside of us in our reality. And then we start attracting things that we really don't maybe think we deserve or we don't want to deal with. But guess what? Our output and our pattern and our belief system that's now maybe even on autopilot is projecting back some of these things that we don't want to experience. And how do you correct that? You change the pattern, you change the behavior, you stop repeating that. You notice the cycle, recognizing the cycle, And then you correct and self-correct, and that takes time. Okay. Over-explaining yourself, feeling the need to justify every decision, giving super long explanations for why you can't do something, or why you chose something, or why you did this. Okay. All right. The next one is seeking approval, making choices based on what others will think. That's not being fully authentic with yourself, right? Because you're basing your opinions on the general population. And sometimes you're basing the opinions on people who don't even they don't even choose themselves, or they don't even you need to get approval from people, but they're not even living up to their own full potential, but you're trying to please them. Okay, feeling anxious when someone doesn't like you or approve of your decisions. Well, that's a self-worth and self-confidence issue. That's why it's important to start working on these things to build and rebuild and even call back our power, right? Because we give our power away when we do these things and we neglect ourselves or neglect our own emotional needs, mental needs, physical needs. Oh, suppressing your true feelings. Pretending you're okay when you're hurt. That's a throat chakra issue, not being expressive. And a lot of these things, if not all of these things, are rooted in childhood. How were you, and these are the things that it's time for you to look in the mirror, to listen, right? And to start questioning yourself. Is this familiar? And I will tell you, when you hear something that is familiar, you're like, oh wow. You'll feel that it's time, like internally, that it's time to do something about this. You'll know this message is for you. Hiding your needs to keep the peace. A lot of people do this in relationships. And it goes back into the same thing of like not speaking up, not saying how you truly feel, and you're doing this. Oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, they can't handle my truth. Oh, this and this and this. But what do? You suppress, and you either, some people explode, or it just turns inward to where, the things that you should have expressed starts morphing and changing into physical form and causing problems in the body because it's not being expressed, it's being suppressed. Okay. Fear of disappointing others, feeling guilty for setting boundaries. Now, I will say, when you start your no process, or your, setting boundaries, it may feel uncomfortable. I know for me, it certainly was, but it's also a liberating feeling because you're like, oh, it's like a relief, like, oh my God, yes, I did it. I don't have to go do that. And when I really didn't feel like it, and so you take that and you're like, wow, I love the relief it gave me. And then you keep doing it. You commit to doing it, just like you committed to doing the opposite, the people pleasing. Changing your plans because someone else doesn't approve. I think more people are starting to get this more and more, like, no, it's just a no. It's just a no. And I know sometimes in the world, people pressure us. Oh, well, why not? Why won't you go? They'll try to convince you. And it's like, it's just a no. It's just a no. And I don't have to over-explain myself. My no is enough. I mean, you can explain a little bit, but you don't have to feel like you have to either lie or create a story or, make up something just to appease someone else. That's not being authentic to yourself. Okay. Being the easy person, always going with what everyone else wants, and not deciding or being decisive about what you really want and what you really want to experience. Rarely expressing your own preferences. That means you're suppressing these things or hiding these things. Over-giving. Giving more time, money, energy, or support than you can realistically afford. That's self-explanatory. Feeling resentful because others don't reciprocate. This is a really, really good one. Because when we overgive and overdo or over-explain, we have these expectations that, oh, well, you're supposed to do it too, or you get it in return. Or, you're supposed to give it to me in return. But it's like, no, they don't have to. They have their own choices, right? And it leaves us feeling upset, frustrated, or even resentful because they didn't do it back. But that's a you issue, not a them issue. Remember, in my last video, I talked about when you're an overgiver, people are used to you overgiving. So they're like, oh, she'll handle it. He'll handle it. But the moment you start saying no, and that's why I told you, start saying no just to see who's around to just receive your giving versus who's around because they genuinely love you, honor you, respect you, and they see you as valuable and being in their life, and they don't want to lose that, because there's a distinction here. So release those expectations of how you believe other people should show up. Now that's a whole nother conversation and we gotta get into another day, but those are all you things. Those are that's about your self-worth, your self-love, you filling up your own cup versus looking for someone else to fill it up for you. But that's your responsibility. So I hope these helped you, and I hope you enjoyed them. Bye.